Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I have to tell you, at this moment in time, I am feeling so chill. Before I got sick with cancer, one of the things that I loved to do is self-care Sundays. Usually about once a month, I would invite a group of friends over, different groups all the time, different combinations of people all the time, on Sunday morning, and I would cook brunch because I love nothing more than hosting. And brunch to me is like 4 or 5 courses, right? And it's perfect because along with brunch, we invite our masseuse over, and we set up our extraordinary bathroom. Our master bath, a woman designed this house, and you could tell that she had kids because for the master room, there's a long hallway before you hit the room. And then the master bath is just beautiful. Steam shower, 2-person hot tub, different sinks. She went so far as she put a chandelier in there. We were joking with her when we looked at this house that she obviously built it with the intention of serenity now. And I love it and thank her for it. So we set up that room to be, candles and champagne and little pastry snacks and bubble bath. And we just roll through massages and spa day in the bathroom and brunching and laughing and loving. And it was one of my favorite things to do. In the before times. Well, this morning, to cap off and balance out a very heavy, sad week, and not just for my wife and I, but this particular group of friends that I hosted this morning are all having some pretty intense moments in life, and it seemed the perfect way for us all to conclude the week and start off on the next week. So today, for the first time since diagnosis, I got to host just a fun morning where it was so lovely when it was my time for massage that I could hear my house was filled with laughter. It was really cool because there's not a lot of laughter in my house. Especially right now, but there just hasn't been a lot of laughter in this house for a very, very long time. So it was very nice to hear my wife laughing and my friends, Alot and Michelle, who are, again, got some heavy shit right now. So yeah, it's a beautiful morning. I did a lovely multi-course brunch with a roasted Japanese sweet potato cauliflower cashew soup. It was very tasty, and some French toast with maple mascarpone and a cider gastrique with some apples. I went to town. It was so much fun. I can slightly smell right now because I've been outside of chemo, so that's nice. Yeah, this was so lovely way to start the day. It was so lovely to recapture something that cancer has taken from me, and the most beautiful is that my house was full of laughter. Yeah, this week is it's funny. My wife and I aren't sitting in any type of fear right now. Like, I'm not afraid of this upcoming surgery. We're not afraid of if it works or not. Like, there's just sadness in this moment. My wife finally came to the understanding of where she wants to be when I die, what she's going to need in that time, and I'm so happy that she was able to find the first step of what that means. And for her, it was she wants to live in the mountains, and that's where she's going to heal. And so now that we know that, we bought a house and we're setting it up for her to have a wonderful home. She said it was important for her that I did it with her, which is so awesome, because we talk about it all the time. My biggest fear is like, who's gonna take care of my wife when I'm gone, you know? She has nightmares at night and talks to herself until I like tell her she's okay. Who's gonna do that? And, whew. But the heavy side to this work that we're doing is now we are setting up the house. And so this week, a lot of it, we already like put the bones in, you know, the furniture and all of that, but now it's the art and it's the, you know, setting up the home part. And so we're, you know, going through our Chicago home to choose, you know, what is it that we want to represent us in the future? What do we want to add to that home? You know, and there's a lot of walking down memory lane this week. And we are doing the work to clean up our Chicago home, which is really heavy, you know. You know that I have already taken the time to clean my personal shit up. I am a very big proponent that in this life, you should not think that you're just gonna die and everyone can clean up after you. Take care of your shit, especially the boomers who collect shit. I say this as you see my toys behind me. But I went through the very hard work last year. Remember, I was left alone for a week and decided to scour everything, go through all of my memories, and it was really intense. But I think it was important to do for my wife, so she doesn't have to do that. And now we're kind of have the opportunity, and we're taking it. And we're doing the next step of cleaning together and paring down our lives to help her set up her life. Yeah, so it's heavy, you know. I think one of the things this week, though, and you know, especially this friend group that I was telling you that we did brunch today. We also got together this week. We all raised our hands and let's come together and just like all of us are struggling right now. Let's talk. Let's purge. Let's get emotional. Let's talk about how we're surviving through this. What skills are we using? What tools are we using? What do we need? How can we support each other? It's really great. It's really wonderful when you have people that are willing to do that with you, you know, and not shy away from the hard work of emotions, right? But we, you know, in doing that, we've been talking about it a lot, and me like thinking about the tools that I use to keep myself sane, but to keep myself going. You know, I have to walk into the surgery on November 15th. It's been calendared. November 15th, I'm going to walk into the surgery, and this is my 11th, I think, surgery. I mean, already it's like a week and a half away. My body's vibrating. It's like, not again, right? It's an experimental surgery. I don't know afterwards if I'm ever going to see humans again, because how will it regulate my white blood cells with immobilizing my spleen? You know, there's a lot, and I don't want to sit in that. So I'm going through my tools, and I was thinking a lot about that this week as we're getting together with our friends, and plus, what really brought it to mind at the beginning of the week was the my wife and I kind of going through our stuff, and she found a few of my pictures that I must have misplaced from my life before her, which is very little. But there was a time, and she found some pictures of me in China, and it really made me think. You know, that to me was the beginning of when I recognized that. I remember when I spent a couple of years traveling and living in Asia, and specifically in northern China, and I was of the age where I definitely was a hot mess. I was just figuring out that I was my own creator now. That now you can't blame or point your finger at anything or anyone else, because all of your choices are yours. You have to figure out the action that you're taking Was that programmed into you? Was that indoctrinated into you? Is it your choice? Who's talking? I was just starting to have all of those conversations with myself, and I was just starting to explore, I explored religion a lot, like in my teenage years. Yeah. So I was continuing. I was at that age, and I was continuing my exploration, and I was starting to look into like Taoism and Buddhism and what actually does the Quran say in the Torah, and like what is out there in the world. And so it's really a perfect time to have that experience I was introduced for the very first time during this time, Qigong. I thought it was Qigong. To me, when I saw it, was this, I would see a lot of elderly population in the parks doing movements, right? And what were these? I thought, was it kind of like a yoga thing? Is it an exercise thing? I don't know. It piqued my curiosity, so I started to join them. But then I was introduced to more of the mental aspects of Qigong, which to me was kind of meditation, I guess. Like at the time that what I was experiencing. But it was the first introduction for me that I wasn't really, as a child, like growing up into adulthood, I wasn't really given any human skills. Like I wasn't given any skills of, basically, we were taught if things didn't work out your way, then just bully and beat the person into submission to get your way. If you're sad, you just use drugs or alcohol. If you're angry, you use drugs, alcohol. If you're happy, you use drugs and alcohol. Like there was no there's just no processing of no human school that did we go through as children. And so during this time was me trying to figure out, and it was really the first time that I came to understand that you could train your mind. I didn't have to drink into oblivion to stop the screaming in my head. I didn't have to, there were other ways. And this is where I came up for the very first time, the idea, we have talked about this, where I have coffee chats with cancer, right? And the coffee chat with cancer concept is because at that time, in my early 20s, I had to be busy all the time. I definitely partied way too much. Like I said, I just didn't know how to be human. I didn't know how to be friends. I didn't know how to be a good partner. And so I was trying to learn these things. And for me at that time, I couldn't stop being interrupted by the trauma of my past, right? It just hit constantly disrupting, constant chatter in my brain, constantly making me want to and I didn't know how to do that. And so I was taught when I was learning Qigong to have this concept of start to isolate those thoughts into a certain period of time. And so, for example, I would allow myself, let's say, 6 times a day for 10 minutes. I could scream, cry, be angry, whatever, about all of the nightmares in my head that had been graciously given to us by my father and his friends. So 6 times a day, I would sit for 10 minutes. Short, let it hit you, all in, but then stop. And then during that time, when it starts, when all the craziness starts, you do something where you're reining it back in. You're not giving it, allowing it that time. So no, thank you. I don't want to talk about that right now. No, thank you. I'll talk to you at our proposed time. No, thank you. I'll talk to you at the coffee chat. And you're constantly repeating that. And it doesn't work right away, right? But you have to train your brain. And that was what I didn't understand. I didn't understand that there are so many ways that you can train your brain, the same as your body, the same as, and eventually I was able to turn this concept into larger times where at least I was able to start to be still, if that makes sense. And so in learning that skill, it has been wonderful in applying it to cancer. At first, everything all day, 24 hours a day, which is exhausting, which is what runs you down, which is what, is uncontrollable. And then the insomnia at night and all of this, because your mind needs to be managed. And now, after building the pathways and doing all of that work, I can have hours in the day where I'm not going, I'm fucking dying. Now it's only a couple of times a day during the confined coffee chats. One of the other things that I learned during this time, which actually is what I spend a little bit of time thinking about this week, is another tool to be able to manage my pain with disassociation, but not. I don't know how to describe this. So for example, my jawbone this week, right? I don't take pain medication. I don't, period. I don't take pain medication. And this is not because I'm some fucking superhero or because I'm so strong, or it is not. It is not. I am in pain. I choose to not take pain medication because, well, to be honest, when I was in the, I think I've told you this story before, but I was in the hospital, my first diagnosis, first surgery, and I come out of the surgery and I'm in the hospital and my wife is there and all my friends are there and they're there all afternoon supporting my wife, which was wonderful, and we were all chatting and having a good time and everything. And it was so nice. It was so nice, to be chatting with everyone and everything. And but the thing is that I discovered I wasn't awake for this. This was all in my head because I was knocked out cold on Oxycodone, Oxycontin, Oxy. I was out cold. I was asleep the entire time, didn't move, didn't talk to these people. One of the people that I thought was part of this conversation was never there, but it was so real. It was so real, and it was so warm, and it was so comfortable. And I understand why there is an oxy problem because in this country, because that feeling was, oh my God, I had just been told I had 2 to 5 months left in the world that I was dying of cancer, and I didn't care. I don't care. I was, And so when I woke up, I said to the nurse, whatever the fuck you have me on, take me off of it now. And they argued, of course, because they want to manage your pain. They're like, no, Nicole, you have to heal, blah, blah, blah. How about we do this, do that? I'm like, no, because I know me. I know that I have to put a lot of work into not just disassociating and crawling into a ball and disappearing. I know that if you give me this drug, I'm gonna stay warm and happy. Who wouldn't, right? Why would you wake up to the terror of the fact that you're fucking dying any moment at the age of 46? So I at that moment, I made the decision, and I told my wife too. I said, please help me, please remind me of this. I do not want to be on pain meds until the end. And then morphine the fuck out of me. But I do not want to be on pain meds because I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss my daily phone calls with my sister. I don't want to miss the life that I have left. And in making that decision, I have stayed with it all through the 4.5 years. I had my liver surgeries where they took me down to 12% of my liver in 3 surgeries. Literally did that with ibuprofen. Magnified ibuprofen, lots of it, I don't know. But it was a big dose of ibuprofen. So again, I am not by any means a superhero, and I don't say this because I don't want you to think, well, man, how does she do that? It must be possible. I could be able to do that too, because we're all different. And again, I chose to do this, and so I put the energy into it, like figuring out these mental ninja things that I can do. And for pain, with my jawbone, do you hear that? Jawbone is what my mouth wants to say. Jawbone. Great. Now I'm forgetting words and flipping them. Okay, it took me a moment to get my tongue back. So with my jawbone pain, I used a tool that I was taught by this dude that I worked with on Qigong for about a year. It was so cool. Oh man. We used to go up to, like, the city that I was in was the third largest city of China. And we used to go up to the top of this building in the middle of the city and practice Qigong, the movements of it. And then we would, do a lot of talking and learning the mind part of it and stuff. And but it was just so surreal to be standing on the top of this high rise in the middle of the third largest city in China, learning this. Anyways, this tool that he taught me was, when it comes to pain, to be able to take yourself into your body and really travel through your bloodstream, through your muscles, through whatever route you decide to take, as you're traveling through your body to that point of pain. And when you get there, you're beginning to massage the muscles around it, perhaps pat the bones, giving some warmth to them, and really in your mind breaking that down to the cellular level. And now you are taking the cells and you are putting them back into place where they fit and where they work, and you are managing that pain on a cellular level. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and it takes a very long time. I've been doing this for 20 years. This and various different things that I learned throughout my travels, putting them all together. But for me, it allows me, I'm able to find a place where, and this is where I say disassociation definitely helps, right? Being able to take that skill that I learned as a child in very scary situations and to remove yourself. Here, I don't want to be totally removed because I want to be able to obviously travel and focus on your body. But that is how I manage myself through most of my pain, is spending time with my body, rearranging myself at the cellular level and massaging myself at the cellular level. And it's it works for me. There's still, of course, a lot of the daily pain, but this is helping me to get through those really long and painful times that have no breaks, right? And that was something that I shared this week as one of my tools of being able to. I think I've done the same thing when I've had very sad emotional experiences. I repair my heart. You can use it for a variety of different things. Yeah, it's kind of strange going through all of our stuff this week, and God, we were kids when we met. Gabby was just coming out of college, and I did not have all these mad skills when I met her. I had been introduced to them. I had picked them out of my various different travels, right? You're traveling through, you've got the Sufis and the Muslims and Hindis and just, everyone that you're learning from is so amazing. And I was just figuring out how to employ those skills when I met my wife. And thank God I did, because, man, we have built a very beautiful life, and one worth well worth grieving over. Oh, well, I think I'm going to extend my little brunch lounge day. Yeah, I think I'm gonna jump back in for a luxurious bubble bath, and then I've got a walk with a friend today. Yeah, this week was rough. The visit with my oncologist. Yeah, nothing new. This surgery is we're still throwing things against the wall, see what will work. I'm definitely at the end of the line. If this surgery works, great. I get to go back to chemo. If it doesn't work, then I gotta go look for some magical science. Yeah. But that's for another day. Today is a little bit more self-care day. What do you think, Tilly? Yeah? Even Tilly's into it. She's got a little bit of a cold. Yeah, don't you, baby? All right, well, I will see you next Sunday. Have a lovely week. I certainly plan to. I'm going to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra this week to finally to go see Planets. And then my wife and I are going to go to Jackson and have a lovely time. So I will see you from Jackson. All right.